Good afternoon. That light is really bright right there.
Oh, no, everyone loves it.
Okay. Good afternoon. We are here today because two young children who were vacationing with their parents on Panama City Beach in 2020 are not. And the reason they are not here today is because Scott Donaldson, on December the 4th of 2020, while driving, had an epileptic seizure that caused him to lose control of the truck he was driving and ran over these two children. We've invited you here today to discuss the results of our investigation into this fatal crash. We appreciate the patience of the family and the public in allowing us to take our time and complete a thorough investigation into this case. I believe you will see from the materials that we have provided to you that this has been a complicated set of facts. However, we took our time, and when I say we, I'm talking about our critical incident review team, and this is some of the members that compose the team that are standing here with me today. A group of senior prosecutors with over 140 years of prosecutorial experience, as well as senior investigators, along with the Panama City Beach Police Department. We wanted to take our time and do a thorough and comprehensive investigation so I could stand here and vouch for the credibility of this investigation and our findings. Early on, there was some rumors and misconceptions about what happened in this case. Specifically, there were rumors that the driver, Donaldson, was driving his vehicle and under the influence of either alcohol or controlled substances when this crash occurred. That simply is not true. There is no evidence of that. Our analysis of the defendant's blood by three different entities, Ascension Sacred Heart Bay Hospital, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement Crime Laboratory, and another certified independent lab, confirmed that there was no alcohol or any illegal controlled substances in his blood system. However, the results of that analysis did confirm that there were therapeutic amounts of his prescribed seizure medication in his system at the time of the crash. An analysis of his telephone records, his cell phone records, revealed that he was not texting or talking at the time of the crash. Witness statements, eyewitness statements, who observed Donaldson's driving immediately before the crash indicate that he was not speeding or driving erratically. Some of those witnesses were present and observed the defendant immediately after the crash. Donaldson immediately after the crash. They said that he was experiencing seizure-like symptoms. And we know that after he was transported to the hospital, he was observed by the emergency room physician experiencing an epileptic seizure. Our investigation has revealed that Donaldson has had epilepsy for over 20 years. During that time, he has had 3 prior traffic crashes that were caused by seizures. But at the time of this crash, the Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles had reinstated his privilege to drive. The state attorney's office and law enforcement were not involved in that process or decision. And interviews that we conducted of his 3 physicians who had treated him during the years for his epilepsy showed that they were all aware of his seizures and these crashes. But in their opinion, he was safe to go about his normal daily activities that included driving. And they never, and when I'm talking about these 3 treating physicians, they never advised Donaldson that he was not fit or safe to drive. Of particular note is on December the 2nd, just 2 days prior to this fatal crash, Donaldson saw one of his neurologist for a routine office visit. During that visit, the doctor discussed the conditions with him and told him that he was perfectly fit to carry on his routine daily activities, which included driving. That was noted in the doctor's records. During our investigation of this case, we considered 3 potential criminal charges: DUI manslaughter, manslaughter by culpable negligence, and vehicular homicide. Based on the facts of our investigation, there is insufficient evidence to charge Donaldson with any criminal offense. I want to be clear about our decision today. It only concerns whether there has been a violation of criminal law for the crash that occurred on December the 4th of 2020. The defendant, Donaldson's driving privilege is currently revoked. However, under current law, he could apply to have his license reinstated next week. And our office would not be able to prohibit that. To that end, I've written a letter to the Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles, the Medical Advisory Board, strongly requesting that they permanently revoke Donaldson's privilege to drive in the state of Florida. And I've also asked them to review the rules and regulations that allow drivers with similar histories who have had prior crashes to drive in the state of Florida. Part of my job as state attorney is to determine with our team whether or not a criminal act has been committed, setting aside emotions, and if it can be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. Justice means taking the time to look at the facts of the case and apply those to Florida law. I believe you will see from the materials that we have provided to you just that. We took our time to reach the right decision in this case. In closing, I'd just like to add this. Most of us have children. This is a parent's worst nightmare, what happened on December the 4th of 2020. I cannot begin to comprehend the grief and the loss experienced by the parents of these 2 children. But I can assure you, the magnitude of this tragedy was not lost on us as we conducted this investigation and the review of these facts. And I continue to hold the parents in my prayers. Now, I'm sure Chief Talamantes would like to make a few comments. Chief?
I need a mic. Can you hear me?
There you go, Chief.
They good? You good? First and foremost, I want to say I want to echo the comments made by the state attorney. There's no easy way for anybody to stand up here and talk about an incident like this at all. But I want to thank the state attorney and his staff for the countless hours they put into this case. I was at this scene. I was one of the first supervisors to arrive there. It was right before I was chief, and I remember it like it was yesterday. The images of that incident will forever be burned into my memory and the memory of every other first responder. As a father, just as state attorney said, I can't even imagine what they're going through, the parents. You know, it's our job as law enforcement officers to try to answer questions. And that's what we try to do for any victim of any case. And if there is justice to be brought, it is our responsibility to do that. There was a lot of talk about how long this investigation took. In any case, especially these horrible, tragic cases like this, as law enforcement officers, we have to make the choice. We can do this right, or we can do this fast. We will choose accuracy over speed every time. The state attorney has detailed the evidence that we have developed during this investigation. The factors against a prosecution outweighed the factors in favor of a prosecution. The solemn reality is that not every tragedy is a criminal case. The evidence has shown that this is exactly that, a tragedy. We recognize that our decision will likely affect the parents of the two children, as well as many community members that were affected by this. To that I said we have applied our legal test to the evidence of this case. And I hope they can understand how and why we have came to this conclusion. There's no way we can answer everything. If anybody ever tells you that they can, they wouldn't be telling you the truth. But what I can tell you with 100% certainty that we applied every bit of our heart to this investigation. And so did my partners. We will continue to keep the family in our prayers, and they will always be in our thoughts.